Hey, Newbie Dan here. Some of you know I bought a new table saw, and I wanted to show you what I bought, why I bought it, and explain what, if any, impact it'll have on this channel going forward. Stick around and I'll get right to it. Hey, let me tell you a secret. Actually, it won't be a secret for long. This isn't a normal video for me. This is more like a vlog. I do a lot of talking and showing stuff in the shop. It's not real polished. The audio's inconsistent, but I thought you might enjoy it anyway. So just letting you know. I want to make one thing clear from the start. I don't think you need expensive equipment to build high quality projects. It might be easier with higher quality tools, but they're certainly not required. So the fact that I bought a fancy new table saw won't change my videos at all. So why did I buy a fancy new table saw? Honestly, because I could. First of all, I figured out how to fit it into my shop, although just barely. And secondly, I could afford it. And by the way, SawStop didn't give it to me. They don't give me any money. They don't know who I am. I paid for it with my own money. Actually, I bought it with the money I made from my YouTube channel, so that means you guys bought it for me. You may not have known it, but you did, and I really appreciate it. Thanks. So I sold my SawStop job site saw to a nice lady named Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie. Thanks. I know she's going to give it a really good home. I bought the SawStop professional cabinet saw, also known as the PCS. I bought the version with the 1 3/4 horsepower motor, the 36-inch T-glide fence, and the integrated mobile base. SawStop was offering a deal, and actually they still are through the end of the month, where I could get the base for free, which saves $250. The deal's kind of weird though. It's actually easier to attach the base before you assemble the saw, but you can't actually get the base until you receive the saw. When you receive the saw, you fill out a rebate form, you send it in, and then they send you the base, which means that you get the packages for the saw sitting in your garage or wherever until you receive the base. So like I said, that's really kind of weird. But the Woodcraft store in Fountain Valley, California actually lets you take the saw and the base with you. Stop by there, there's some great people there. The saw and accessories weigh over 400 pounds, so it was a little bit of a challenge to get it home and assembled, but I managed. Here's a short video montage of how I did it. I spent some time cutting it to music, and I had a really good time doing it, so I hope you enjoy it. I wanted to try and show you somewhat how this fits in my garage. Let's see, there's the washer and dryer, and then my router table, the saw, and then my workbench and my dust collection. And yes, this is only 2.5-inch dust collection. I probably will work on that at some point, but not right now. This is what I did for the connector. I got a 2.5-inch to 4-inch. It's the same size as the dust port on the saw, so I just used some black duct tape and wrapped around it. Looks great. I wanted to bring the saw further out into the garage this way, but my dust collection pipes are in the way, so that's not going to happen for right now until I move the pipes. but it works okay this way. So here's the saw, and it's 36 inches. The cut goes out to 36 inches. And this part here is the wooden extension wing. Then the rest of it is cast iron. If you've never used a cast iron table saw before, the advantages are that it's very stable. One disadvantage is that it rusts very easily, and you have to clean it and wax it and stuff like that. And this is why you have to clean it and wax it. This is rust. You might not think I would get a lot of rust in Southern California, but let me show you why I do. This is my garage, and lots of beautiful green belt. But what that does mean is they have to water it a lot. And no complaints about the watering. Look at how beautiful it is. Gorgeous Southern California day. But since they have to water it all right next to my garage, it means lots of humidity. So in order to clean all that off, I use the method that SawStop recommends. And that is, first I douse the table in WD-40 and let it sit for 15 minutes or so. And then I come out with one of these 3M ultra-fine hand sanding pads, and I scrub it all down. Then I wipe all that off, hopefully get it all off. And then I put on some Johnson paste wax and wipe off the excess and buff it down. I bought a cheap $20 electric buffer on Amazon, and it works okay as long as you don't press too hard on it. And then I put on another coat of wax and buff that again. And I may put on a third, but that's enough for now. But as we continue with the previous commentary, you'll see that it's not perfect. Because it's so shiny, it never looks perfect. I don't know whether you can see it in the video or not, but there's streaks and smudges, and you think, oh, it's going to look pretty. No. And you get scratches. Right away, you get scratches. Right away, I got scratches, maybe I should say. Here's the fence. See if I can switch hands here. It moves really smoothly and locks down great. There's the height adjustment, the height hand wheel. And it's very, very smooth. And then right next to it is the tilt adjustment, which I'm not going to play with right now. And this is the power. So this turns it on and off, turns the blade on and off. Stops very quickly because it's got not just a SawStop brake, but a momentum brake. And I love where this is because my knee hits it just perfect. And what else to show you? There's the mobile base. And they have a storage space down here for the miter gauge, which actually is a decent miter gauge. And the, whatever you call that thing that goes over the, goes over the saw blade. This is going to be a high quality video, I can tell. Probably going to have to redo all this. So I checked the alignment of the blade to the miter slot, and it was pretty good. And I checked the gap between the riving knife and the blade, and it was good. One of the problems that I had, though, was with the stock insert. I don't think much of this stock insert because there's no support right there. And even when you've got everything set up right, if you've got narrow stock going through the blade, between the blade and the fence, this will dip down and the stock will actually catch on that. So what I did was I took this insert, which is designed for dado blades, and it comes with no slot in it. Actually took out the riving knife and then ran the saw and brought this up to make a hole. And I cut this section out using my router in a 1/4-inch slot. I didn't do a perfect job. So I've got this set so that it doesn't move at all. And it's pretty close to perfect. So I'm happy with that. So naturally I made sure the fence is set up right. And the fence is set up probably correctly from the factory, but it depends on how you set up the tube here that the fence runs on. And the tube can be closer to the table or further away. And if it's further away, when the fence isn't locked, there'll be side-to-side play. So I set it up so that there's the minimal amount of space available, still be able to move it, so that if I've got it locked somewhere and I need to tap it over and lock it back down again, it isn't going to slide and then maybe not come back exactly a tap's width. I hope you can see this. There's pads here and here, and there's screws in the front. And the screws let you adjust this closer together or further away. And this is used mostly for alignment this way, but it also affects how much of a gap you need down here between the tube and the fence, or the tube and the table. So I got that set up correctly and aligned correctly. And I got the height set up. You can actually adjust how high or low the front part is. You can adjust the angle of the face to the table, and I adjusted that. And part of the process of adjusting the fence was to get the lock so that it locks perfectly. I don't have to push it down very hard, but I can feel it lock, and it's not going anywhere. So that's set up correctly. I had to adjust the 90-degree and 45-degree slot just a hair. And what I like to do is I actually like to set them up so that I can go past 90 degrees to like 91 degrees, or past 45 to maybe 44. I think I'm leaning the wrong direction, but you get what I mean. So that I never have to adjust them again, because now I can just stick a magnetic angle gauge on here and make sure that I get to 90 degrees or 45 or whatever, because I've given myself enough leeway to go past it. So it does mean whenever I change to 90 and 45, I have to double check it. But I would have double checked it anyway, so this actually works out really well. So I think that's about it. I think I've talked long enough. I know a lot of this was rambling. I don't know how many of you will still be with me at this point, but for those of you that are, thanks for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider leaving a comment. There's links in the description below for anything that I think is relevant. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel already, go ahead and subscribe. Come on, you know you want to. And click that bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks.